Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV's live coverage of the Skip Barber Monday Lights, and it's round 9 folks, and we're coming to you live from Okayama in Japan. But before we get into it, your commentary team tonight is myself, Bernie Weemers, and Alex McKellar. Welcome for another night of skipper action, Alex.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you very much. It's great to be back again. Welcome everyone at home as well. Back for another fantastic week of Monday Night Lights. We've got a great field once again lined up here tonight to tackle this really interesting circuit here at Okayama. Of course, one of the free circuits for iracing here tonight, Bernie, but we've got a strength of field of 3,824 or thereabouts, second highest for the week. So once again, the stars have come out to play.
They certainly have, and while we're speaking, they're out there qualifying. We can see on the screen at the moment is Mick Gray out there, and we'll go through each one very shortly.
Yeah, that's right. The other person, several people out there that are interested in me tonight. One in particular, Miko Nassi, one of the top Skip Barber drivers in the world. He doesn't do a lot of racing anymore, Bernie. He used to be right up there taking out the 2K Cup and seasons, standalone official seasons. I've seen it every now and then. He'll pop into a race, and every time we're at Okayama, he seems to come out and have a run. So great to see Miko here tonight. And then just behind him, seated number 2, is Josh Anderson, the leading or highest seeded Australian New Zealand club member. He's come out for a few weeks this season and in the Monday Night Lights, and he, along with regular Enzo Cantor there, seated number 3rd. They'll be 3 of the front runners, no doubt ones to keep an eye on tonight, Bernie.
Yeah, certainly will be, and both Enzo and Josh are quite exciting when they get together and come out to play, that's for sure. We can see Enzo now, he's coming through the final last couple of corners here, bring up the quali lap counter, and 1:35 as he comes off the last corner. Don't think he's going to do it this time.
No, look, he'll be out on his first of 2 hot laps, Bernie. They get an out lap and 2 hot laps. He's currently in provisional pole with a 1:44.5, although Luke Whitten then jumps up ahead of him with a 1:44.3, so a really big jump there. Miko Nassi straight up to the top of the pops with a 44.1, Bernie. 2/10, a full 2/10 ahead of Justin Tipton, another one of our international drivers joining us from the US tonight. He's seated number 4 currently after the first hot lap in P2, Bernie.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? We just brought him up on the screen because I've not heard of him before, but as you said, I can see the nice big Texas logo on the screen, so we'll keep an eye on him. Also, Timu Vescalampi, he's managed 7th at the moment, and he's got a bit of work to do, hasn't he?
Yeah, Timu's become quite a regular here on a Monday night, Bernie. He enjoys racing with the Australian community. I quite enjoy racing Timu myself, although he tends to be a bit ahead of me, unfortunately. But it was great to see Timu here once again. He's great to race with, and he'll be looking to make a good charge here. I think he's doing quite well in the standings overall, if I recall. He's sitting in 4th place for Monday Night Lights, so looking to make every post a winner here again tonight.
Yeah, and he's just coming through the infield there. What was that? Past Revolver corner. He's coming up towards Redmond corner now.
Yeah, this tight infield section is really challenging and contrasting to the open sweeping curbs of the first half of the lap, Bernie. This tight turn 5 through 9 complex here, as we see going through Hobbs now, Timu Vescalampi now as he comes to close out the lap through Michael Knight corner and then into the creatively named last corner, turn 11 to round out his lap, Bernie. And so that infield section, quite a contrast, as I said, and quite enjoyable and technical at the same time when you get it right.
Yeah, I like this track because I can call at least 2 corners right. That's the first corner and the last corner, but he didn't improve. He did I just missed his time, but he's 6/10 behind. But to have a look at the splits here from 1st to 10th, 1.1 seconds is a total split.
Yeah, look, a lot of the drivers will be familiar here. Of course, it's a free track where the rookies start out, and when it's in the rotation, it tends to get quite a high participation rate. But because of the familiarity that people have with it, they tend to be able to produce quality laps here consistently. having said that, Miko Nassi again showing his class, full 3/10 out in front of the rest of the field at this stage with just over a minute and a half to go. Only a couple of stragglers out there on track, Bernie. It looks like Miko's really set the pace to catch.
Yeah, we can see Luke Whitten, he's on a flyer at the moment. He's just coming up to Redmond corner and then into Hobbs, and we'll see if he can improve on third. And starting from the second grid though, won't be a problem, I don't think.
No, P3 for Luke, just a fraction behind Justin and a fraction in front of Tim Gorkrotcher, both 3/10, all three of them I should say 3/10 as he comes through Michael Knight and down into the final corner now. Not sure if he's just doing a siding lap as he can do every now and then after completing his hot lap, so to speak, Bernie, but Luke, he won't be too displeased sitting third on the grid.
No, that's exactly right. And the only others out there, we've got Bart Martinovic out there, qualified 17th at the moment for Bart. So that's unusual for Bart, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. Bart's actually leading the Monday Night Lights competition. Of course, we score 1st to 12th here in all splits that run on the night. We've got about 3 splits here running tonight and had just over 50 drivers line up. The top split has the most points on offer. And then the second split, again, the top 12 will score points, and the third split, again, the top 12. So the higher the split, the higher the points, and then we tally out the points and take the best 8 rounds of the season to come up with our Monday Night Lights Championship. Just something to give a bit of extra flavour to the official racing that we see here in the Skip Barbers each week. And as you say, Bart Martinovic, all the way down in P17, Bernie, he's got a lot of work to do to hang on to what's quite a substantial lead at the moment, about 40 points with drop rounds starting to come into play this week.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. We'll see if we can move through the field. But generally, the class, when you're in a class field like this, it's very difficult to make inroads in it. But let's have a look at our grid as it stands. On the front row, we've got Miko Nassi. He'll start out at first. Keep an eye on Justin Tipton out of second, though. Luke Whitten, he'll start in the second row in third. Right next to him is Tim Gorkrotcher out of fourth. Third row tonight, we have Enzo Cantor and Josh Anderson. Looking in the fifth row, coming out of seventh is Timo Vascalampi, eighth Darryl Ridley. Starting out of ninth tonight, Kevin Henderson. Then we've got Ben Snell in 10th. Out of 11th is Russell Clark. And we have Gordon Ramsay starting out of 12th. From 13th tonight, we have Mick Gray, and he's joined on the grid by Samuel Collins starting next to him. Rick Davis will start out of 15th, 16th Matt Hobbs, 17th Bart Martinovic, and then 18th is Jason Willman.
Yeah, quite a full grid here, only taking a maximum of 20 cars, of course, these official races. Yeah, look, really looking forward to this one. Should be action aplenty up front, and you can see all the way down. It's only separated by 1.5 seconds top to tail. So close run field, and as you say, very hard to make any moves here as the lights get ready to come on now.
The revs are rising now at Okayama. We're going racing any minute, folks. 14 laps around here, and we're off. And just having a look at Tipton now, coming across. He's trying to cover off Narcy there, but Narcy's got a better start as they go through. Just cuts across the front of Tipton there. Luke Whitten looks like he's settled in third, but he's in a great battle there with is that Gorkrotcher behind him.
Yeah, a bit of action at the rear of the field there, Bernie. They seem to have got through okay, but a little nose to tail. Mick Gray seems to have caught the worst of it. His rear of his car looking a little second hand, Bernie, but they seem to have all managed to be able to carry on.
Yeah, we can see now Enzo Cantor on the back of Gorkrotcher now. He's tucking in, but Josh Anderson's also having a crack on the inside. Timo Vascalampi, he doesn't want to be left out of the action as they come up the back straight here, almost 3 wide, Alex.
Yeah, look, this is the place to get the passes done if you can, Bernie. But the field there, a little bit of nose-to-tail action again. Russell Clark into the rear of Ben Snell into turn 5 at the head, 4 at the preceding corner to this long straight here, Bernie. But again, everyone seemed to be able to getting through okay. And as the field starts to shake out now, they're coming through this technical section for the first time. Everyone's still surviving at this stage.
We're just having a quick look at this replay back here. Gorkrotcher 3 wide. Can you believe that? Coming into the hairpin there, and Gorkrotcher didn't know what to do. Had Josh Anderson on the inside. Enzo next to him, and then he was left out to dry out there.
Yeah, look, Tim Gorkrotcher now, where's he sitting? He's all the way back down in P6, Bernie. He's down a couple of positions off the start. He's still in this long train. These guys will be all stuck together like glue. It'll be, although having said that, I've got to say, in my experience, it's a bit of how long can we hang on to Miko. The draft around here is enough to keep people in touch. 3/10 is not a big gap, and the guys directly behind Miko, in Justin, Luke, and Josh, were all the same 3/10 off. So if they don't get too separated here, the game of how long can we hang on to Miko might go on for a while.
And we just had a look at a replay there. Poor Russell Clark, he's in the wars out there. He got into the back of Samuel Collins, then he backed up, and then Matt Hobbs gave him a serve in the rear end. So it's one of those concertina traffic incidents there. He's currently now running back in 17th. But meanwhile, up the front, we've got Miko Nasi leading Tipton. In third is Witten, and then Anderson's just dropping off the train a bit, but I'd say that's because he had to clear Vascalampi. Having a look at Cantor as well, he's dropped down to 7th.
Yeah, he's down a couple of positions and coming under strong attack from Darryl Ridley through the exit of turn 5 now into turn 6. Enzo holds the tight line into turn 6. Darryl poking their nose again as they approach 7 again on this tight infield section. Very technical. Like I said, a lot of fun if you can get it right, but can go very messy as well with elevation changes and sharp slow speed corners at the same time. So a lot of fun there, Bernie, but they've all seemed to again manage to get through okay at this stage.
Yeah, we can see Ben Snell back here having a run in the number 7. He's sitting in 10th at the moment, and just on the back of Gorkrotcher here. So Gorkrotcher also dropped down a long way, hasn't he? All the way down in 9th at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he picked up some damage, but yeah, he does seem to be going backwards. He's down, 5 spots now. We called him down a couple early. He's down 5 now, or 4, I should say, as there was someone in the pits, I think. Or no, just a glitch in the timing screen, I think. He's definitely down 5 spots. Darryl Ridley holding station in P8, just ahead of him, Bernie, but coming under fire from Tim Gorkrotcher, who's been having some sensational races of recent times. Found a great deal of pace. Took out the win last week in Monday Night Lights. I can't recall if it was his first, certainly his first for the season, but certainly the race not unfolding as he would have expected before the start tonight, Bernie.
Yeah, definitely not. He's working his way to the back of the field fairly quickly. Well, in 3 laps anyway, but we're riding on board here with Justin Tipson from Texas, trying to round up Narcy's. Geez, good under brakes. He closes up 2 Carlings. Tucks.
Not sure if you can still hear me there, Bernie.
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, mate. I'm sorry. I could hear the sounds of silence there for a moment.
Oh, that's just the BS meter that kicks in every now and then.
Fair enough. Well, I've just got my eye then on Luke Witten up front, sitting in P3. Bernie tucked in behind Justin Tipton and Miko Nasi. Luke showing the way for the Australian-New Zealand club tonight with Josh Anderson not too far behind now. With 1.6 though, he's really been dropped by that front pack, and he'll have to work really hard to get back on.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do, hasn't he? And once you get dropped on the pack, it's very hard to get back on. But I guess he's hopeful these 3 up front will start fighting amongst themselves, as we now see Tipton showing the nose on the inside, tucks back in, thinks about it again, but I think he's just sizing up Narcy at the moment to see where he can make a move.
Well, the other thing to consider here, and there's been a lot of talk of it here this week, is cutting out of the draft, which is counterintuitive to most of the tracks we go to here during the Skip Barber season, Bernie, but there's been a lot of blown engines here. This track is well known for it. The ambient temperature is 29 here tonight, Bernie, with a track temperature of 46. Normally you tuck yourself in behind and try and draft a pass or pressure to pass using that, but again you see Justin Tipton pulling out. He's already thinking on lap 4, he's thinking about looking after his engine. He pulled out at the start of the straight, not at the end of the straight, not looking to make a move, but looking to hang on and conserve that engine temperature. You know, if guys don't race smart here tonight and manage their engine temperatures, we could see a few engines pop.
Yeah, so do the skippies normally run fairly hot? I guess they would, wouldn't they? Because they've got such, they rev them so high.
Yeah, they do, Bernie. But it's interesting. Most of the tracks we go to during the season, you can tuck in behind lap after lap and not have a problem. There's just one or two places, and this is a really key one where if you don't watch your temperatures, your oil temperature gets up into the mid 140s, and the engine just goes pop. It can be mid corner, it can be on a straight. It's usually associated with quick downshifts, and there's a couple of key places here, Bernie. As they round the final corner now, this lead pack. You'll see probably again Justin Tipton pull out to the right as he does now. Luke's still trying to grab draft as he can to the closest car, but he's pulled out here because you've got to make a decision: do I click up to fifth here or stay in fourth? There's a couple of key positions: turn 1, turn 4 are two that spring to mind straight away, where you've got the decision whether you go into fourth, hang into fourth at high revs, or jump into fifth as part of your engine management plan as they run wide off the exit of turn 2 there, Bernie. Because if you don't watch it, the engine will go here and it will go consistently.
Yeah, and we've seen a few engines pop down here. I'm running the risk of showing you the helmet cam here, folks, so if it does go pop, the thump is me falling off the chair.
That's right. Look, I'd expect them to last a decent way into the race. Probably by the lap 10 onwards, you'd be starting to worry about it. Although most of these guys will know how to manage the engines. Again, Justin Tipton pulled out there on the main back straight there just to keep that in mind. Luke closing right up now. He ran the risk of dropping off there, but the thing about this engine management strategy that Justin's displaying is that it can bring the other guys into play, because if they're not drafting away, they're just holding station. It does allow the guy to take a bit of a risk when he's behind and just keep in touch with that toe burn.
And it's good to see Sam Katakazinos in his great form out there in the commentary booth here. He's basically saying, do you think Gordon Ramsay's going to cook his engine? Well, he might do. He's not really on the boil tonight, though. He's a little bit off, I think.
Yeah, he's a bit parboiled, you reckon. He's or subpar, as I say. He's in P12 at the moment. He's in a point-scoring position in that flashy green livery he's got there, tucked in behind Samuel Collins, hoping not to cook that engine tonight, Bernie.
Yeah, and he's got rear wing damage on that, and of course he's running the lucky number 13, which could account for a lot. But he's sitting down in 12th at the moment, having a great battle with Samuel Collins. Meanwhile, up front, Tipton, he's starting to lose the back of Nasi slightly as he's starting to fall into the hands of Luke Whitten.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about a 6.5 tenths gap now between Tipton and Nasi up front, with Luke just 3 tenths behind. Josh Anderson now, he's dropped a full 3 seconds behind this lead pack. Different position for Josh, who's usually right up the front there. Again, Timo Vascalampi is now a further 1.8 seconds behind, and he's got a battle on his hands with Kevin Henderson and Enzo Cantor, two guys who love a bit of elbows out racing. It'll be interesting to see how those two play nice or play otherwise, as Enzo pulls up to the inside and in the hairpin there goes very deep under brakes. Kevin did really well to account for that. Kevin will now have the inside run as they head through turn 6. Oh, he's got a touch from Enzo behind his big turn. Kevin holding onto the car magnificently there. Doesn't look to have copped any damage. It looks to be straight on, but that's allowed Tim Gorkrotcher to tuck in behind, and Kevin now coming under attack from Darryl Ridley, Bernie.
Yeah, we see Darryl now having a look on the inside, coming up to Hobbs. I think it is now too wide here. Kevin just holds him out and recovers that, but we'll see how he goes, if he can get back up to the front here to Tim Gorkrotcher and Enzo Cantor, but he's flashing in and out as well, so that normally tells me he's got internet connection issues.
Yeah, I've seen Kevin have a few of those over the years. He's been known to pull over and let everyone by on a bad night simply because of that. He's certainly a gentleman when it comes to that sort of thing, and he'll be certainly keeping that in mind as Darryl Ridley now pulls right up behind him. Doesn't look to make the move into turn 1, but it looks also now that because of that run through that twisty section out the back as Kevin runs wide on exit of turn 1, that Tim Gorkrotcher has taken full advantage of that, now tucked up behind Enzo Cantor as he tries to make his way back through the field after that unfortunate start that he had, Bernie.
Yeah, and he's going to have to work hard to get through the field at this rate, but you can see now as I come onto the back straight, we've got Enzo Cantor, Tim Gorkrotcher side by side, and if Enzo's going to make a move here, he's going to have to go the long way around. Tim is in the best place possible well, as best as you can, but right behind them, look at Ridley and Henderson also too wide.
Yeah, 2x2 they go through there. Tim Gorkrotcher getting a great run in, and he got a great run onto that back straight. That's really what made the move happen. Enzo poking the nose up the inside as they go through turn 16 to turn 7, nose to tail now. Darryl looking up the inside there. Kevin Henderson through turn 7, not getting the drive he needs. Kieran taking the more traditional line. They're getting the better drive out, and it's sealing the deal, so to speak, in his defence of P8 there, Bernie.
Yeah, meanwhile up front, folks, while this battle's continuing, they're spreading out a little bit up front now. They're separated by, 2 car lengths each, as we see now. Mikko's going right onto the inside, trying to break this draft, and the train starts.
Yeah, absolutely, Bernie. They're trying to keep in touch there all the way up the front. Bernie, how long can we hang on to Mikko Nassi? Stretched out to 8 laps. We're over half race distance now, Bernie, and Justin Tipton just hanging on. Luke doing the same behind Justin, although he's a bit closer now. Mikko, the hare, escaping the chasing hounds behind him is almost away now, Bernie, stretching out to 7.5 tenths. They'll be just in the draft here and looking to make as much of it as they can. No thought of stepping out of the draft here and saving the engine. The only thinking now is to hang on to that leader.
Yeah, we're just having a look further back in the field here. Matt Hobbs, Jason Willman, 17-14, having a great battle back here. This is for 15th and 16th position. And the further you go in the field, they race just as hard, don't they, if not harder?
Yeah, absolutely, Bernie, and they're back here just having a good old night with Matt Hobbs now sitting on the back of Bart Martinovich, a series leader now, coming under fire from behind there with Matt Hobbs, I should say. And just tucked in behind them is Jason Willman, a long-time series regular here, making another appearance in the top split tonight. Beautiful livery there, quite a pastel in nature from Jason, different to what I'm used to seeing him in. He's usually got pink flaring out somewhere, but great to see Jason back in the top split tonight, Bernie.
Yeah, he's having a good run back there, and I quite like that, very muted colours, and probably suits his personality, who knows. But meanwhile, up the front, lap 9 of 14 here, folks. Tipton is now defending against Witten. They've dropped Anderson, he's nowhere to be seen, and it's really down to these three of who's going to finish where on the podium.
Yeah, 100%, Bernie. These three are these two in Tipton and Witten are just hanging on to Narcy again. It's the balance of about 7.5 tenths as they head through turn 4 now on lap 9, as you say. This gap makes that they've got. They will be thinking about hanging on in the draft and not too worried about the engines, because this gap, although looking to take a bit of a gulp of fresh air to keep that engine under control, the main straight. At the main back straight, I should say, and these guys again still playing that hang on to Mikko game, and as they head around on the technical tight section on the second half of lap 9, Bernie.
I was just watching these revs jumping up there as they got to the end of the straight. He was at about 5.4, changing down. It jumped up to about 5.6.
Yeah, look, that's getting pretty close to it. You don't want to be bouncing off the limiter here too often. Like I said, there's a couple of key points. Oh, Luke letting the rear slide very wide there as he went through Hobbs. You don't want to let the things here bounce on the limiter too often. This track, for some reason, just has an inherent issue where engines overheat and go. So, the guys will be thinking that as Mikko Nassi pulling over to the right, trying to break the draft now. Still 7.5 tenths, Bernie, as they complete lap 9 now. Just the 5 or so laps to go. He's really thinking about trying to break that draft and secure that win.
Yeah, meanwhile, down the back here, Enzo Canner, Tim Gorkrotch are still going at it. Enzo is just keeping to his line there. He's not doing any weaving whatsoever. And Tim's just tucking in there. And then Darryl Ridley, Kevin Henderson's battle continues here, and that's for 8th and 9th position.
Yeah, good battle there. Daryl seems to have made his way past Kevin. I'm not sure if Kevin's carrying any damage after that touch from Enzo through turn 6 on one of the earlier laps there. Daryl, of course, we know, has got a lot of pace. He was in second last week in the race at Brands Hatch, but was unfortunately unable to secure that position and sort of spun himself out. Looking forward to hopefully seeing Daryl get a better result here tonight. Kevin Henderson sort of made a run there at Daryl, but didn't really want to take the position. I'm not sure if he is saving himself there, or he just didn't think he quite had it for that lap, Bernie, and saving himself for the next one. But great to see Daryl hopefully securing some good points here tonight.
Yeah, I think what's going on with Kevin is he's flashing in and out occasionally, and I think he's just not confident to make a move while he's suffering that slight internet connection issue. But further down here, Gordon Ramsay and Samuel Collins are starting to heat up here for this battle, and that's for 11th and 12th.
Yeah, last 2 point scoring positions, of course. Gordon letting the rear hang out there through the turn 9 of Hobbs there. Bernie going through Michael Knight now, coming into last corner. And he's just sort of letting the rear slide around all over the place there. It doesn't seem to cost him too much time sitting in the draft of Samuel Collins there, but they're hoping to just grab those final 2 point scoring positions, see how far they can get up in the championship, Bernie.
As we see there, Gordon tucks back in, but meanwhile, Nico Nasi, he's starting to stretch that gap. It was out to 1 second last time through. Then Tipton and nearly said Lipton, Witten, still battling it out here for second and third.
Well, can I tell you, Miko's setting the track on fire here. He's done a 43.9 in 46-degree track temps. That's incredible. He's got clean air, and he's setting the fastest lap of the race, Bertie. That's amazing. The guys behind him and Justin Tipton, they're just that fraction over a second behind at 1.06 at this stage. 1.1 is about as far as the draft will stretch, Bernie. After that, you're on your own, and I'd suggest doing 43.9s. Miko's in a class of his own at this stage.
Yeah, Tipton's brought it back to 9/10 of a second or just over. 0.966 is the actual gap, but we'll see how they go when they come across the start-finish line. Meanwhile, Luke Witten, he's from the lead. He's dropped 1 to 1.6 seconds and dropping further back.
Yeah, he looks to be all struggling a bit to hang on to Justin Tipton there. Looks, again, another one who's letting the rear slide around a bit. He likes to get that car rotation, particularly early mid-corner. Lets the rear step out. As you see, to get a little bit of an example of there again through turn 1. And he has great car control when it comes to it. And again, that rear just rotates the car beautifully. I don't know whether he's trail braking or whether he's just dropping it in there to get that early car rotation, but it's certainly spectacular to watch, Bernie.
Yeah, he definitely likes having the rear end hang out, doesn't he?
Yeah, 100%, and it certainly doesn't seem to do him any harm too. He's one of the very quick, or the quickest Australian New Zealand guys, and he is now, after this season, a 2K Cup round winner. A very impressive performance. So he certainly knows what he's doing behind the wheel of one of these, Bernie.
He certainly does, and you can see the number 5 now under brakes. He's just tucking in. I'm having a feeling he's going to have a crack at Justin. It's just a matter of when, and I'm predicting probably, well, he's only got this lap and another one to make a move.
Yeah, just the balance of the three. 2.3 laps remaining as they head around the back now. I would like to think that Luke has the confidence that he can have a crack here at Justin. He's less than 4/10 behind now, so he's still well in touch. It's just a matter of whether he can close that gap and whether the engine hangs on and allows him to do so.
Yeah, we're in his helmet cam here, and I'll tell you what, that visor needs a little bit of a clean there, Mr. Witten.
Well, one of the nice innovations, I used to press the button all the time when they first brought it out, is the tear-off visor in the open wheelers. It's a fantastic innovation, and you can rip that tear off and get us a clean one. I don't think we can do it remotely though, Ben.
No, you can't, but we could always do what they did to Brocky years ago and just sit on the side of the road and throw a bucket of water at him.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll just throw it on as he goes past the pits next time, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, I found the tear-offs only work if you bind a button. When I drove it, I couldn't even find where the tear-off thing was, and then I found I didn't have one set.
Yeah, well, there was a default. I think it's Alt T, and then there's the option to bind one, of course. And there isn't an auto tear off that I was using in the very little mud racing or dirt racing that I've done, and it seemed to work, but not before. I could barely see through the damn thing, I have to say. But look, the battle here is certainly shaping up here as we come with just 1.5 laps to go. Miko really looks to have cleared out now. He's broken that the back of that draft, Bernie, with Luke Whitten really now putting pressure through this technical section out in the back onto Justin Tipton, all over the back of him here through turn 7 at Piper. Bernie coming up to Redmond. He probably won't look here, maybe save himself up for an attack into turn 1.
Yeah, we'll have a look, but that time through up the back straight, Tipton had it right on the inside there. Luke had no option but to try to jump out on the outside, so Tipton is very much aware of Luke right behind him, and he's going to make it very, very difficult for the Aussie to get this position.
Yeah, look, he really closed up there, had really good mid-corner speed through the final corner. Tucks into the draft now. Tipton really not giving away where he's going to go. He is going to take the defensive line, force Luke to go around the outside. Luke swings right out wide through the first corner. Perhaps going to try the over-under. Lets the rear go. Forces Justin to go very deep there. Minor mistake there. They both really didn't get through there cleanly, but they both managed to hang on and resume station, as it were. Oh, Tipton running very wide there through turn 2, Bernie. Down through turn 3. Now Luke really looking that you can attack through here. He's not close enough. He'll be looking to set up and get the best run he can out of turn 4, the Atwood curve, Bernie, onto the back straight.
Yeah, and watch Tipton here. He'll come straight across the inside again, and he'll cover off Luke. There he goes now, and that's pretty much only giving Luke one option, and that's to go on the outside. Maybe if Luke comes on the outside, breaks early, tries to get in underneath him, he might have a chance. It's contact.
Yeah, big net code there. Luke tried to squeeze Justin in rather than shooting out Bernie, and net code there between them. There was no actual car contact there that I could pick up. Luke tried to squeeze him into turn 5 there, and yeah, look, there's a good tyre width or two between them there. It's an unfortunate part of internet racing that Tipton thinking about coming across, Luke trying to keep him tight, and they've made a phantom contact there, and that's put Tipton into the wall.
Yeah, and that's a real shame, because those guys were having a fantastic battle, and it would have been great to see that get to the end. But that's going to promote Joshua Anderson up to 3rd by the looks of it. And then
that's right. Sorry, and then Nasi's just crossed the line to take a hard-fought victory, Bernie, with Luke Whitten now crossing the line for 2nd.
Yeah, and then we've got Anderson. He's going to snatch the 3rd part of the podium. We can see in the background Tipton just trying to get that car home. And then Timo Vascalampi held out Enzo Cantor and Tim Golcrotcher, Kevin Henderson. But look at Tipton's car. He'll be absolutely gutted after that incident.
Yeah, hopefully there's no hard feelings there, Bernie. I think it was close, hard and fair racing. The perils of racing people across the globe really an unfortunate outcome there, and that's what came of it. But up until that point, you can see Luke really hanging on, it seemed at times, but certainly making a hard charge at the end. And racing incident, or an internet racing incident more than anything there, Bernie, but an unfortunate end for Justin there, and I know Luke won't feel great about it either.
No, that's right. That's exactly right. So, yeah, there was a pretty big hit. We were actually in the gyro cam at the time when they came together, and yeah, you could just see a bit of the gap there. But let's go through our full results here, folks, so we can see where your favourite driver finished tonight. So, there it is. Found it. So, Miko Nasi takes the win. Started from pole, led every single lap here tonight, and his fastest lap, a 1:43.950, and I'd say that's the fastest of the night. Home in 2nd was Luke Whitten after contact with Luke Tipton. Is it Luke Tipton? Justin Tipton. So he comes home second. Josh Anderson completes the podium in third. Timo Vascalampi, he holds on to fourth, and then Enzo Cantor, he finishes where he started in fifth position. Tim Gaukricher dropped 2 positions to come home in sixth. Justin Tipton, after that incident, survived for seventh. Kevin Henderson, he comes home in eighth, and Ben Snell ninth. Samuel Collins, he held out Gordon Ramsay for 10th, and of course Gordon comes home in 11th. Mick Gray, he finished in 12th tonight. In 13th was Matt Hobbs, followed by Bart Martinovich in 14th, so he improved 3 positions. Jason Willman finishes in 15th. Rick Davis, unfortunately, dropped a position to come home in 16th, and I did see him in the pits earlier on tonight. Russell Clark, 17th, down 6 positions. He also had to make a trip to the pits, and Darryl Ridley finishing in 18th position, down 10 positions. I'm not sure what happened to Darryl. Do you know what happened to him?
No, I missed that. An unfortunate night again. He was travelling so well too. We commented on it in the middle of the race, but it unfortunately seems as though Daryl's had an untidy finish, which is a real shame. He just doesn't seem to be able to jack a result, does he?
No, I'm trying to see if I can bring up the bookmarks. I don't think I can, because they've all not bookmarks. Events I want. I'm going to see if we can find out what happened to Darryl there.
Yeah, real shame, as we said, but look, great to see him out there. I've been really pleased to see his I rating back to somewhere where you would expect to see a guy of his speed and talent. So, again, though, a big night and an unfortunate ending for him.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the replay here. We'll just keep it on the screen while we debrief here. He's all by his lonesome, so I'm assuming he's whatever he's done it to himself.
Yeah, look, it can happen, of course. I'm just trying to find it myself, to be honest. Just had a bit of trouble with my overlay for some reason, but I'll see if I can't find it, Bernie, and we can go through it.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it up while we're watching it. It takes a minute at the moment, as we know, to find it, but yeah, he's out there all by himself. Maybe he ran over the invisible turtle or something.
Well, they leave him out there, right? The potholes and what have you. But yeah. I can't even see an extraordinary long lap time for him, to be honest. So, yeah, just an unfortunate finish, no doubt.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's definitely. Oh, there he goes. Yep, around he goes. Oh, into the wall hard. Well, that wait didn't disappoint, that's for sure.
Well, it's a long wait, as you and I know, but no, I haven't caught it quite
Piper.
Yet. But
He came off at Piper and into the wall hard, and that's what. That explains what happened there.
Yeah, that's enough. Oh, yeah, I'm just catching it on the replay there. Yeah, just seemed to let the rear get a bit wide, and it stepped out into the wall and spat him out the other side. Unfortunately, yeah, just an unfortunate error there towards the end of the race there, and quite a costly one at that, Bernie.
Yeah, and of course we're sitting in with the crowd at the moment, folks, and yeah, awesome graphics.
Well, they had a great view of the action, surely, Bertie.
Yeah, I was looking at the lady in front of us, but she seemed just a little bit two-dimensional for my liking.
A bit flat, I thought.
Yeah, she was a little bit flat. So, yeah.
There you go. Well, what a night of racing, Bernie. Weren't disappointed by the class of Miko Nassi. Look, there's a couple of 43.9s in the field in 1 minute 43.9s, I should say, which is in Miko, Luke Whitten, and Tim Gaukricher got one as well. Oh, I tell you what, Justin Tipton, he's pipped a lot of them with a 143.8, but the only one I would suggest that's done that without draft is our leader, pole sitter and race winner, Miko Nassi. Fantastic effort for him. He's done a couple of them too. His best was a 43.950, and his last was a 43.9 as well. fantastic driving from Miko. Really, really impressed once again. Luke Whitten, he drove a solid race to take out second. That unfortunate incident, I'm sure upon review there'll be no hard feelings there between the guys, as it was an internet racing incident. Unfortunate there for Justin Tipton, who'd driven a really solid race throughout. That promoted Josh Anderson, of course, to the final step of the podium. Quite a lonely race for Josh by the looks after losing that front pack, but himself up 3 spots from where he started on the grid, showing even in amongst such a classy field, he does have great pace once again, Bernie.
Yeah, he certainly does, and just having a look at the chat channel there. But yeah, anyway, it looks like we have Enzo Cantor in the green room, and might bring him up and do another chat with him, because my Italian or whatever the hell you call it isn't that good. That's what I call it. I know he speaks Italian. Whatever the hell I speak, it isn't Italian.
No worries, I'll bring him up and say g'day. G'day Enzo, Alex McKellar here. Welcome once again to the RRTV commentary booth. Okayama this week, mate. Hung on for a top 5 there. How was the racing out there tonight?
Hey, hi guys. Yeah, very, very difficult week because in this track the weather is really, really hot, very, very slippery track, and you have to be very gentle on the brakes to not be wide in every corner and lost a lot of speed, and you have to be very gentle on the throttle too, exiting the corner and during the corner. So very, very difficult and tricky track, and I did some little mistake in qualifying, so I was expecting to be in the first 2 or 3, but I did some mistakes, and then team hit me, and the race became more difficult, and I have to recover the gap, and I'm very sorry to rear-end Kevin. Fortunately, his car was not damaged after the contact. I tried to avoid in order to reduce all possible damages, and fortunately his car was not damaged. But a really difficult race. Miko, is from another planet. Yesterday I saw it, and I did another race with him, but he has an incredible pace, faster 0.6 or 0.7 than any other driver on this earth. So the only chance is to try to keep the draft and try to attack him in the last lap, but believe me, it's very difficult to keep the draft with Miko, because he's very, very, very incredible fast. So even if in this track draft is so important, you have to be very skilled to keep Miko's draft. You can lose it in a very easy way. Congrats to him, because he is really from another planet.
Yeah, I agree. I was saying to Bertie during the race that I could see this being a game of how long can we hang on to Miko, and the guys up front did a really good job. They hung on for a very, very long time in retrospect, before they had an incident themselves in the closing stages after dropping the draft, and Luke ultimately finished just shy of 4 seconds behind. But look, it's a challenging track. We caught that unfortunate incident with Kevin. It's easy to do there as you go through those technical sections out the back. But like you say, Kevin was able to make a strong fist of recovering from there, and made a good race of it. But mate, not quite the result perhaps you were looking for, but thanks again for coming out for another great week of Monday Night Lights.
Yeah, thank you. I'm here even if I didn't win, because it's not fair to go here only when I win. So I have to speak today about again a difficult race, and Kevin, perhaps he has a pace lower than mine, but he is always very aggressive, and he is very difficult to pass him. So as the week 1 week ago, if I don't know if you remember, but I had really some difficulty to pass him, and again today. And perhaps without the incident with him in the first laps, I could catch Joshua because surprisingly he has not a fast pace as I thought. So I think I could catch him, but no problem. I was searching for a podium, but no problem. I have to practice more, and so they other drivers was better than me, and it's racing.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well said. So thanks once again for coming out, mate. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to while you're here?
Yes, again, thank you. I have to say thanks to my team Mivano Racing, my sponsors Trasmaster TRL Cube, and my team manager Fabio Mantellini. And thanks to you again for your works and your interview.
No worries, Enzo, mate. Thanks. I look forward to seeing you out track again, mate, and hopefully we'll get to see that Enzo wiggle sooner rather than later.
I hope too, but next week, there is Snetterton, a completely unknown track for me. I look at that a demo lap by Philippe Lebert, but I think it is a very, very, very difficult track to race in and to learn, because there are so much different corners, and you have to approach them in a very different way. I don't know. I will be lucky if I will be in the top 10 next week, I think, because it will be a very hard week for me, the next one.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few of us in that same boat, mate. That final series of corners is quite unique from what I've seen. Quite tight and just strange angles. So it'll be interesting to see how we go, but I wish you all the best, mate, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope to do not some disasters during the race.
No worries, mate. We'll talk to you then. Good night.
Good night to you.
Fantastic.
Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
Just going to say fantastic. That was Enzo Cantor there, and I was taking note of the accent, and I'm not even going to attempt it.
No, I haven't got that in me either. But look, just a couple of things to talk about. I've just grabbed the results of the other two splits. Bernie, we had 3 splits tonight. Brendan Campbell took out, for the Australian New Zealand Club, took out the second split with a Paricchio Roldan. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, mate. From the Iberian Club in P2. And Brian Inglis, series regular, Australian New Zealand Club. I think he's a Kiwi, so he's up really late, and we appreciate that in P3 with John Schultz and Nathan Kong, another couple of regulars rounding out your top 5 there. Just jumping to P3, to the third split, I wanted to make special mention of Brian Sheridan, organiser of the Friday Night Race Club. He's come out to join us on a Monday night, and I couldn't let it go by without giving him a shout out. He's doing some fantastic work for the local community, putting on great racing events, and I'm really pleased to see him getting out and having a bit of fun on a Monday night, Bernie. But that's kind of the rundown of the other splits. Although Shane Reeves, Andrew Hensley, and Robert Spearman were the podium getters in the third split, I should say, and they'll be getting a handful of points to add to their season tallies as well.
Fantastic, and yeah, it's great to see Brian out there having a run, and haven't actually ran in his series, but I've heard great things about it from yourself, and I've watched your streams on it. So what's Top Split got in store for the viewers this week?
Well, this week, Bernie, if you catch the stream at Top Split TV on Twitch, we'll be doing a bit of Snetterton, as we were just talking about with Enzo there. It is obviously a classic British track, if I'm not mistaken. Really quite, interesting layout in the first part of the track from what I've done so far. But the last few corners, they're just so unique, and they put you off your game in the fact that they're so different to what you see at other tracks. So looking forward to doing a bit of that, bit of the WANC, which will hopefully be here on RRTV on Wednesday night. Then off to the Friday Night Race Club again, Bertie. Brian and his guys put on a great show on a Friday night. You can check all that out on Top Split TV.
Yeah, definitely. And on RRTV this week, folks, the next broadcast will be Wednesday night. Yes, it will be, for the Wankel Australia New Zealand Championship. Thursday night, we've got the Thursday Night Thunder coming your way, and that's the NASCAR trucks. And I'll tell you what, Alex, that is getting bumper fields. It's just growing from strength to strength. I think we had around about 40 cars line up last week. Maybe I was wrong, but it was a big turnout. And then that's Thursday night. Friday night, the Australian Online Supercar Championship will be coming your way, and it's another sprint round at Interlagos. So that'll be interesting. And then, of course, on Sunday night, I think we've got the Australasian Super Skips coming up.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, we'll be doing that from Snetterton on Sunday night. You can catch that on Top Split TV as well as RTV. So have the dual screen action going, and that'll be an exciting one with a lot of drivers, as Enzo indicated there, tackling that track for the first time, released this season by iRacing, very different and unique in places. So should represent a unique challenge for everyone involved.
Yeah, definitely, and I still want to hear from people if they actually, the Super Skips, if they simulcast your stream from your cockpit as well as having the broadcast up. It'd be interesting to get their views on what that's like. Hopefully people are taking advantage of that and doing it. But that pretty much rounds up our night here at Okayama, Alex. Good race tonight. Mikko was untouchable, really, wasn't he? Great car control, and it didn't look like he was going to lose that race unless he had made a mistake. But unfortunately, that mistake came with Tipton and Witten. But that was all net code, and I'll tell you what, that flipping net code thing.
It's not your best friend when it comes to this stuff, but it is a part of it. Yeah, look, I was actually really impressed with Tipton and Witten for hanging on to Mikko that long. I've done a race here with Mikko where I started in P2 and he was in P1, and I reckon I lasted a lap and a half. I couldn't get near the bloke. And the likes of Enzo, again, reinforcing that message, just saying how hard it is to hang on to him. Classy drive from Mikko, flag-to-flag victory. Really impressed, and what can you do? He's one of the world's best, and great to have him here once again. He seems to come out for a couple of races with us each season, and we're very glad to have him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad to have anyone that turns up. So, but anyway, folks, that's my pickup line, by the way, folks. When I go out. Glad to see you. Yeah, let's drop it there. All right, folks. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's coverage of the Skip Barber Monday Night Lights coming to you from Okayama. Hopefully, we'll have your company again on Wednesday night. But if we don't, hope your week goes well. So, on behalf of Alex McCullough and Bernie Weemers, thanks for watching, and we look forward to your company again next time. Good night.